not a baby crying. Okay, so we're gonna ignore the baby crying in the back. Hi, welcome to another video. Today I'm hanging at the pool of a friend and I decided to make it a video, but also, oh, they're right behind me. Girl, please. I'm hanging by the pool of one of my friends and I decided to make a What We're Reading Wednesday video out of it and bring a book with me, and we're going to do a read with me by the pool. I'm not gonna lie, I grabbed these two books because I am in between like which one I want to start and which one I want to read. So what we're going to do, also I didn't introduce myself. Hi, my name is Crystal. I'm the creator of this channel. Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I make 3 kinds of videos every week. One is Moody Monday, where you never know what you're gonna get, but you always get a video with me in it. What We're Reading Wednesdays, which self-explanatory, about books that we like, that we want to read, that we have read, that we don't like, and that we want to read. Can't wait to read. Anyway, and then on Friday we do Van Life Fridays, when I talk to you, or when I pretty much do a video about my alternative living in a van. If any of that sounds attractive to you, you want to see that every week, please hit that subscribe button. But if not, let me pop up on your feed whenever you need to see me or hear me. For every one book I finish, I add 5 more to my TBR. There's just so many good books to read. Back to the books. These 2 books are what I'm deciding to start today. I have To Sir with Love and Drunk on Love by Jasmine Guillory. Both of them are love books, like they're romance books, which I think would be perfect for the poolside. I watch a lot of creators who always talk about mood reading and wanting to read a book that's the same season as what's happening now, like so it's like summer reads during summer, fall reads during the fall, so on and so forth. But I never have that kind of sentiment. I kind of just want to read what I want to read. So maybe I guess that's more, I just have a list of books that I want to read and I'll go through those lists. But I was thinking, let's try to see what it's like to read a moody book in a moody like environment. So like pool read, I think these would be the two nice pool reads that I have from the library. And so I pulled them out. And To Sir with Love, it is about a rom-com that follows 2 30-somethings who meet on a blind date app, only to realize that their online chemistry is nothing compared to their offline rivalry. And then this one, it's about hooking up with somebody who ends up being important to the plot. That's literally it. You have Margot and Luke, and I think they hook up, and then at some point they end up having to work together. And that's on a vineyard in Napa Valley. I don't know which one to read. I'm kind of going towards this one just simply because it's shorter, but I want to go with this one. I want to do this one because Jasmine Guillory is a really good author. I only read one of her books. It was recent. It was By the Book, which was a modern day retelling of Beauty and the Beast, which was a really good book. I gave it, I think, 3 stars, which is still good. It's just a nice romance, nothing big, nothing like super mind-blowing. So I think she's a good writer just from that book alone. And then this is just a short read, so I don't know. I'm also hungry. I bought a sandwich. I got some snacks. I have a sandwich and some chips. I don't know. I'm gonna read this, so let's actually read the synopsis. Perpetually cheerful and eager to please, Gracie Cooper strives to make the best out of every situation. So when her father dies just months after a lung cancer diagnosis, she sets aside her dreams of pursuing her passion for art to take over his Midtown Manhattan champagne shop. She soon finds out that the store's profit margins are being squeezed perilously tight, and complicating matters further, a giant corporation headed by this impossibly handsome but irritatingly arrogant Sebastian Andrews is proposing a buyout to turn the store into a high-rise. But Gracie can't bear the thought of throwing away her father's dream like she did her own. Overwhelmed and not wanting to admit to her friends or family that she's having second thoughts about the shop, Gracie seeks advice and solace from someone she's never met. The faceless Sir she connected with on a blind date app where matches get to know each other through messages and common interests before exchanging real names or photos. But although Gracie finds herself slowly falling for Sir online, she has no idea that she's already met him in real life and they can't stand each other.
Hey everybody!
It's me. Welcome to What We're Reading Wednesdays. It's like you're trying your best to get into the cut. So I'm gonna make one of these. This is Lexi. Hi Lexi. I'm using her pool today. She has graciously invited me to her pool. And so we're utilizing it and utilizing this to read a book. Anything to say to...
I'm gonna say that my dad...
Okay, we're back. So, with that being said, we're going to read this for the time being. I don't know if I'm going to read all of it now. It's only 288 pages. Let's confirm. 277 pages. So, let's start, shall we? Let's get into it. I'm going to eat my sandwich. I got Wawa, a Jersey delicacy. It's also been out for a while, so we have watermelon, have a sandwich, and some chips. And I did have a soda, but me and my friend were gossiping a bit, so it's a little flat. So I'm gonna go get some ice. For our sandwich, I'm just gonna read it to you. Cold classic, pepperoni, classic roll, spicy mustard, right top. Anyway, provolone, right bottom. Provolone. And it says 3 there, so I'm assuming the provolone is three slices of provolone, which is not enough. And then we have pepperoni, which there's a 15 next to the pepperoni, so I'm assuming that it's 15 slices of pepperoni. Too much. Sweet peppers, hinge, which I think is another like measurement. I have no idea what that is. Tuck into roll hoagie paper. All it gives them like the whole like step by step, but essentially pepperoni, provolone, sweet peppers, spicy mustard on a roll. And then Wawa has their like hoagie fest, which they have like cheap hoagies. So I got a 10-inch. We should measure that. This book away from the water. It has gotten flashed twice, and that's 2 more times that I need. It is a library book. I literally am only 24 pages into this book, and it's pretty much what is it, You Got Mail, but it's not a bookshop that the lady owns. It's oh, there's a lot of ants here. It's a champagne shop. If you ever seen You've Got Mail, you know it's a manipulative story of a man who is talking to of a man and a woman talking to each other online, but they are rivals in real life, because the woman, who's played by Meg Ryan, owns a very small, intimate, independent bookstore, and the other guy, who is played by Tom Hanks, I believe, is an owner of essentially a Barnes and Noble. Like, they have, I think it's Borders Books, maybe not Borders Books. I think it's just a huge bookshop, and they're buying all the small bookstores, or trying to at least close them out. Online, though, they talk to each other anonymously, and they are in love online. Both of them have relationships, which is weird. But in real life, and I'm gonna spoil the movie for you, so she ends up having to close her bookshop, because he does what he needs to do, and he buys them out, basically, or he puts the bookstore, his huge bookstore, next to her bookshop, or close to her bookshop, where she doesn't get any more business, because they get all the business. The big shop gets all the business, and who wouldn't want like books at a cheaper price, because it's a bigger business, where independent bookstores prices are more expensive because they're independent. That ends up happening, and then at some point online they choose to meet, and he sees her first and sees that it's the woman that whose life he's essentially ruined. And he did go inside, and he met her, and they had some exchange of words, because she doesn't know that this is the guy he's been talking to online. He knows who she is, and she rings him out a new one in that meeting, like at that table where she's supposed to meet the guy online, and he sees her or whatever, and he takes it as an opportunity to be better. So he tells her online, "I'm sorry I didn't meet you. I have some things to take care of." And while he says that, in real life, he is trying to befriend Meg Ryan's character, and they become lovers instead of enemies, and then they meet in real life, and she was like, I was really hoping it was you, because she then realized that he was in fact the man online. 24 pages in, and this is what this is given. They're gonna fall in love. They just happen to be enemies right now. I hope she doesn't end up losing the shop. I know I'm like really burying the lead here, but it's what it's giving. It's giving You've Got Mail, just with a champagne shop and skyscraper. I do love the back and forth between her and Sir. Like their messages, when they always end in like yours sir or yours lady. It's cute, and I only seen like a couple of them, but I think it's cute to say yours da 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 da. They seemingly have a nice relationship online. He has a girlfriend though. She doesn't have anybody. She's single. He's apparently with someone, and I got to the point where they just met in real life. I'm gonna continue reading Away from the Water because the book got dripped on twice. It's dried since then, but I don't want any more of those surprises. Also, there's rabbits around here. Me and Lexi saw them before she went. There was one that got really close to us when we were sitting over there, but there was two that were chasing each other around. It was so cute. I love animals. I love animals so much. It's not a brand new day. It's just I showered and am outside of a Michael's because I have some things to check out in the store. Some things for work. Most of the things are for work, just to see like what we need for certain projects, and the other part is just for me because I haven't been in a craft store in a long time. I am not that far out. Like after the last clip, I think I read like 20 more pages, maybe. No, I read only 10 because I wanted to like get dressed and come over here to Michael's before it closes, although I have a couple hours, I think. Yeah, I have like I have an hour and a half. I was just introduced more to the main character, Gracie. So our main character is Gracie, right? I told you that. We know that. Her siblings were both tasked. Her siblings and her were all tasked to keep the father's champagne store, Bubbles and More, alive, and it's only been Gracie doing that. So we're learning more about the brother Caleb and the sister Lily and how they play a part in it. And they just found out that Gracie has been getting an offer from the male main character, Sebastian Andrews, and they're like, at first the reaction of them finding out, I thought they were going to pressure her into selling, and that might still be a plot line, but right now they're in the plot line where they're helping her with some ideas. So she's running it on her own. They don't stop by. They live in other places, and so when they heard that someone was trying to buy it, they're like, well, why didn't you tell us? We could have done this, we could have done that. She was like, you're not doing anything now, so why would I go to you to do something now? Anyway, after a Zoom call, because that's the only way that they can actually chat, they all have all these ideas of how to get their website going, how to get the store a little bit better, and I'm excited to see where that goes. It's a short book. It's only 270 something pages, and we're on page 70. So in 200 pages, I don't know what can happen, because right now, at this very point, is the whole plot of almost the whole plot of You've Got Mail. Stuff they don't. My thing is the way that they're writing to each other. If they just sat and thought about it, like I said before, they just sat and thought about it for a second. Like, there's no possible way that this person who is a stranger who I've never met, the dating app, you don't meet them, you don't know what they look like or nothing, and they haven't met, but apparently they're always going through the same thing. Like somebody's reaching out and asking for advice on what would you do in this situation, and the other person's like, I just had a situation. Yeah, I don't think that's suspicious. If they just sat and thought for a second. And also, I can't get behind that I think he's blue eyes and blondes. Lauren, are we still writing blue-eyed blonde people? Maybe he's blonde. Maybe he's blue-eyed and brown-haired, but same thing. But I do like it so far. It's a cute read. I think I have to be okay with having like small, cute reads and not like heavy book. Because that's how I'll get drained out, and I don't want to get drained. I want to keep reading. I want to keep this party going, you know what I'm saying? But it's so good. It's good so far. I want to read it later and hopefully finish it tomorrow, but right now, craft store. I've got our handy dandy don't talk to me guards on. For someone who's single and wants to meet the love of her life, she surely makes it hard for them to even talk to her. Okay. Everyone shut up. We are currently at the part where she's about to explain to Sebastian how she met this guy online, and he's gonna figure out that he's the guy online. I think this is the part. Everyone shut the fuck up. I lied. They're not doing it. Ugh. I'm annoyed actually, because I know it's gonna happen in the last like 100 pages. Well, I'm 139 pages in, and all we got is our main characters doing a cooking class together that Gracie put together for the champagne store, and Mr. Cooper, no, Sebastian Andrews. He bought a ticket to the event, and they ended up cooking and drinking together at this event at her store. And obviously there's flirting, and obviously there's attraction, and they're both talking about each other via like, oh, it's complicated, complicated, I really like them, but it's just complicated. And I'm just like, we have 140 more pages. All right, I have to go to work. Hello. It has been more than a few days since I picked up this book. I'm currently on page 192. I have almost 90 pages left, actually. Right? Yeah, about 90 pages left, and we're just going to read through them. We're at the part where, unfortunately, we find out if she gets to keep her business or not keep her business. And Mr. Sebastian Andrews is there to pick up the pieces that he made. Like, it's weird, but honestly, I truly forget, like, when I first started reading again back in July of last year, I was so adamant of not picking up romance books. I didn't want the fluffy romance. I didn't want the like hopeful, like cutesy type of romances that only exist within the book that it's written in, or even in movies that people make, because I'm like, at that point, and still to this point, I have not experienced it, and I really like to read things that I can experience or put myself into. And coming back around to reading these kind of books and enjoying them and like really like kicking my feet and getting all giddy at stuff, I think is an evolution of mine, and I'm really grateful for it, because like, it's just nice to read cutesy, feet-kicking romance stuff, and to like read into the detail of slow burns and like subtle touches or eyesight, or just like, those things are cute. I forgot how cute they were. I forgot how cute romance was and how like hopeful it was, because I personally felt hopeless. I felt not definitely hopeless romantic, because there's no hope. I like to say that I'm currently a hopeful romantic, but that hopeless part is there, and it's still kicking sometimes. But it's really nice to read books with like those things, even though it's so nonsensical sometimes, because like, In real life, Sebastian Andrews would have got his throat punched. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? I will say it is still following the plot line of You Got Mail, which still sucks. And and that's the part that sucks, because like the nonsense, it's stupid, because this wouldn't happen. You wouldn't fall in love with somebody who is like helping you get out of business, but at the same time, it's working out because, like I said, Gracie Cooper, and like the synopsis said, she took over the business because of her father dying, and it was his dying wish that the business stay in the family. She never wanted it. So that being a part of the plot helps alleviate some of the frustration I have with how the plot is going, with her, I'm going to spoil it, losing the business, but she didn't want it. She made that choice to give it up because she wanted to do something else. So with that being said, sure, fine, that is definitely alleviating some of my frustrations with how it's going, because she didn't want it in the first place. But if she did want the business and it just went out of business because no one was buying in, and then you have this man who's trying to buy that space or buy them out of their lease and isn't really helping you get business, but is just around, that would have made me a little bit more angry. But it's not. And it goes back to that, like, it's two people who care about each other, who are like slowly falling in love with each other, even though the parts they play in each other's life is a part of adversary. So it is what it is. I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna read this some more, hopefully finish it by the time the library opens. I'm currently parked at the library. It's closed, but it opens in an hour and a half. I'm hoping that I can read this in an hour and a half in order to return it and start a new book. I think if it is following the plot of You Got Mail, I think he knows who she is to him. He can't not know. We're at the spot where she's closing, and she reached out to Sir, the guy online, to come have a drink with her. And she set up like drink glasses just in hopes that he would come have a drink with her. He doesn't show up, but Sebastian Andrews shows up. We know it's him, whatever. So he essentially does show up. She just thinks it's not him and somebody else showed up. But my thing is, someone has got to know. Someone has got to know. Y'all can't be two smart people and just make dumb decisions over and over. Like, hello? If you just took 2 seconds out of your day, he might... Okay, so at the beginning when they were talking about sorbet, like I feel like I read that at the beginning of the video, they were talking about their choice in ice cream or gelato or sorbet, and Sir said, who we know to be Sebastian Andrews, said that you have not lived unless you've had lemon sorbet on a hot summer night. They went out to eat after an event that she had at her shop, and then he treated her to ice cream or some type of frozen treat, and she looked at the menu and she chose lemon sorbet, and he looked at her in surprise and ordered 2 lemon sorbets. And I'm wondering if at that point he then put together that she is lady, because she's lady to his Sir on the dating app. Someone's got to know. We're not going to have someone's got to know. I don't even think I'm ready. Okay, everyone shush. Everyone chill the fuck out. It might be the point where Sebastian is now realizing that she could be lady to his Sir. Oh, no, it's a 3rd act breakup. If we're not together, it's a 3rd act fight. I should have known. We're only 219 pages in. Here we go. So we're at page 226. They had a fight. They walked away. Haven't seen each other. Gracie is coming to terms with a lot of things, talking to what she feels like is the closest thing to her mother, May, who is her father's ex, essentially, and she worked at the champagne shop. This whole time we've been talking about Gracie's dream person, and her dream person happens to always be a musician. At some point in the book, when her and Sebastian went out to get euros together, there was a musician in the park, and he looked at the musician and paid him something, right? Like paid the musician like a tip or something. And it was noted that he just took like a really good like interest in the musician, like in the person playing in the park. And it brought up again that May is telling Gracie that her musician is not coming. She's like, not yet. We don't know yet. It's like, obviously a joke, but we don't know yet. In my head, Gracie, okay, so also with that, Gracie has just got an offer for art gallery to like have 10 to 20 pieces, which is crazy. 10 to 20 pieces for art gallery that Sebastian set up for her, like told the art gallery person about her art, and that's happening. And so what, and that's after the fight, after she realized what he did. She's just like, you're just guilt tripping, like you're literally just doing this out of guilt because you ruined my fucking life, which you didn't. I think that she's going to do the gallery, and I think he is a secret musician and is going to show up playing a song, and I think she's going to have her Cinderella moment in the You're Gonna Kiss, and and I think at the gallery she's going to have a Cinderella-esque dress, because that would just be icing on the fucking cake. Oh, I can't wait. Happening. Everyone shut the fuck up. It's happening. Nah, I was wrong about the musician part, but over here. It's crazy how every time somebody's gotta get pregnant at the end of everything. Jesus. I loved it so much. Oh, it was so good. Hi. We're changed. It's been only literally probably 20 minutes since we finished this. I really liked it, even though I knew the ending. And that's like just romance, right? Like, even though you know the ending, even though you know it's gonna all work out, you still read it, because getting to there is such a wild ride and such a cute ride, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, even though it was basically You've Got Mail, figure it out. But hold on, okay, did nothing. But this was really good. I like the sibling dynamic in there and how they were just supportive, and it was more heavy on the romance and the main person, Gracie, which is fine, and then everybody else took a backseat, which, again, fine. Main plot was the romance and Gracie and her stuff. I like the sibling relationship because it grew, and it wasn't like this huge falling out and like rude stuff. Like, they had quite the ride when they were younger, losing their mom and having to take on responsibilities that they didn't need to at their age, but the resentment of all that was never part of their family dynamic. Maybe there was a little bit of resentment of taking on the store because no one wanted that champagne shop. Gracie just loved her dad so much. But through that journey, their sibling relationship became stronger. And I think that's different, because I truly thought that they would pressure her into selling, but that's not what the dynamic was, and I'm really happy. May, the stepmom, essentially, beautiful, love her, quirky, cool, like the best character. They're both like a fairy godmother, basically. And then at the end with like Sebastian and Gracie, I love a good ending. I love a good kiss to round out the movie or the book. I am a sucker for that. And I think I truly just been hiding the fact that through life and being a woman in this world and dealing with men, how cynical I've become again, like towards the idea of love, and I've had such a like, if I get this, that's fine. But I think I want it all. I want the romance. I want adventure in the Great White somewhere, but I want the romance too. I want my Prince Charming, whatever he looks like, and as long as he's a prince and not a jester in disguise, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want that, and I forgot how much I wanted that, because it hurts to want something that you don't think you'll ever get. And this was really good. This was a reminder of like how we should hope for things, and even though things seem like fantasy or like you can't have it all, you can build a different fantasy for yourself as you get to know yourself and come to conclusions about certain things that you want and truly don't want. This was really good. I enjoyed it. I'm giving it a 3.5. Simply because I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like whoosh, very simple, kicking feet, romance. We love it. To Serve with Love. You did your big one. I'm not sure what Lauren Lane has up her sleeve or anything else. I'm not quite sure I'm going to read anything else, but this was good. I hope you enjoyed reading through this book with me, and I want to apologize for the spoilers, but I think I'm going to just put with spoilers in the title of this video so no one's confused. And maybe also this would inspire people to literally read the book with me, like literally like a book club. I'm kidding. I love you. I am grateful for you. You deserve your fairy tale ending, whatever that may be like, and we both do. And we will see it happen in the next one. Bye.